What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be doing a team building guide for the new stage of Extreme Super Battle Road for Goku's family here. So this I don't think is going to be too difficult of an Extreme Super Battle Road stage, only because there are so many good units on this category. You can just build you have so many different options for really good team builds. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So Goku's family is one of the largest categories in the game, obviously, because it has every single Goku and Gohan card, as well as like Bardock, Chi-Chi, Pan, Grandpa Gohan, Raditz, right? So there's just so many characters that encompass this category, and is really quite large. That being said, I'm not going to be able to go over every single character that is like viable for Super Battle Road on this category, so what I'm going to do mainly is we're going to highlight some of the leader characters that you can use, and then we will also be taking a look at a few team builds that you could potentially make for some of these different leaders. Okay, so the first unit that we're going to be taking a look at here is the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He is going to be one of the best leaders for this stage for sure, because after his Extreme Z Awakening, he is 180% Goku's family leader. So you'll be able to use any different Goku's family cards alongside him, and he is going to be ridiculous offensively and defensively. Considering he has his medium chance to counter built in, as well as some nice stat buffs for himself, and then the massive defense raises that he's getting on Super. Yeah, so this guy is going to be really solid. He's also got this disables enemies action, this like mini Ghost Usher, essentially, when you're facing 2 or more enemies. So that's absolutely perfect. Because in Super Battle Road stage, you're going to be facing 2 enemies every single fight. So imagining having one of him as your leader and then also your friend leader, he is definitely going to put in some work. Okay, so the next leader that we have here is the Exchange Goku and Gohan. They are going to be a decent leader because you've got the Goku's family portion here for 170, so you can use any of the Goku's family cards here under his team, but then he's got the additional 30% for Android Cell Saga category characters, and there aren't that many that crossover between the two. So I've got this website up here that actually allows us to look at like cross-referencing between categories. It's essentially the same thing that you could do in-game if you are, filtering your box and stuff. So we've got Goku's family selected here. We're also going to have selected Android Cell Saga. And then we click Find Characters, and this is going to show us all of the characters that meld between those 2 categories. So basically every unit you see here is someone that would have access to the 200% portion of the Exchange Goku and Gohan's leader skill. So there are a few good options here, but you're not going to be able to build an entire team of 6 that way. So just keep that in mind. We do have the LR Super Saiyan Goku and Gohan. That is going to be a very solid option. They're going to be absolutely like mollywopping through this stage. You've got the physical future Gohan, who could be very good as well. Keep in mind that he does need a Trunks on the team in order to have his full passive active, and we're obviously not going to have access to a Trunks card because this is a Goku's family stage. So yeah, so he is going to be hindered by that just a little bit. But under the 200% leader skill with the damage reduction he gives himself, he is still going to be very good. And then you've also got Heart Virus Goku here. He is a very solid Super Battle Road unit, lots of defense, and the stun chances that he can dish out are going to make him a pretty good option. Okay, so then moving on to the next character, we have got the AGL Ultra Instinct Goku here. He is going to be one of the best possible defensive units. Any units that you can have that have this great chance of evading built into their passive are perfect for Super Battle Road. 70% chance to stun really, or to dodge really goes a long way. And then he's also got crits built into his super attacks here, which is nice for Super Battle Road because you don't always have type advantage and stuff. So he's going to be able to provide a lot of attack power as well. So taking a look at his leader skill here. He doesn't actually have a Goku's family leader skill. He's got Miraculous Awakening and reps of 7. So we will go ahead and see about those categories here. So Miraculous Awakening. These are the units that we've got access to here. So, you know, obviously the Goku himself, you're going to be able to use any of the other Ultra Instinct Gokus as well. Namely the STR LR one is also going to be nice because he'll have the 70% chance to dodge as well. And then we have got... It's slim on some of these other options. This guy is going to be decent for sure. The Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Goku. After his EZA, he is a pretty strong unit, providing a scouter sometimes, considering if you have a few other full power units on the category, or on the team. And then he's got his medium chance to counter super attacks as well. And then we've got the STR Namek Goku here, and the Int Namek Goku. Both of them are decent, but they're just not the best for Super Battle Road because they do need to build up a lot before they can really perform well. So yeah, I don't know if you have a ton of good options for Miraculous Awakening. And then the other category he leads is reps of 7. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Where is Representatives of the Universe 7? There we go. Okay, so it really is just all of these UI Gokus that are also on Miraculous Awakening. Actually, I don't think that there's a single relevant unit here that is on Reps of 7 that's not on Miraculous Awakening. So, yeah. So, it doesn't look like he's going to be the best possible leader for you to use. But he certainly will be a good unit to bring on the team. So next up, we already mentioned this guy, but we have the Super Saiyan Gohan and Goku card here. They, I guess, could be a decent sub-leader if you didn't have any of these other units that can lead a Goku's family team, because they're Goku's family 150%, so that could be alright, I suppose. But I definitely would recommend trying to use a higher leader skill than that. Some of these extreme Super Battle Road stages are very, very tough nowadays, and getting all the stats you can be very important. But this guy is going to be an absolute offensive beast. He is going to rip through this stage. And considering the fact that if you come over here and take a look at the battles that we're doing, they're against only 2 enemies. And, you know, normally when you're facing all these Super Battle Road stages, you have like 4 and 5 enemy fights. That's actually a bit of a hindrance for this character, because he can do... sorry, getting ahead of myself here. He can do so much damage in a single attack that it would be kind of a waste for him to just attack, like, 1 of 5 enemies. Because, you know, if the enemies are split up and there's like 4 or 5 of them, each one of them has less HP than if you were going up in like a 2-enemy fight. Each enemy has a lot more HP. And basically what I'm trying to say is that if you get off this guy's Ultra Super and you collect a lot of orbs because he is a nuking unit, then you're probably going to be able to one-shot these guys even though there's only like 2 of the enemies and they have a lot more, you know, a lot bigger HP pools. He is still going to be like really, really solid. So this guy's pretty much a must-use if you have him. He's going to be so good. Okay, so then next up we've got the Birdku here. He is one of the best units in the game overall, so definitely one of the best units on the Goku's family category. And then he also has his Revive, which is going to be really solid. He's going to be guarding if your HP is high, and then if it gets low, you have the option to, you know, to be saved with the Revive, which is really good in Super Battle Road because you can use it once for each of the fights. So essentially saves you a lot of items, or if you were going for a no item run, then this guy could be a really good option too. I wonder about Powerful Comeback. Let's check the crossover of these 2 categories. Goku's Family and Powerful Comeback. This doesn't look too bad. So you've got the Birdku as the leader. You can bring both the UI Gokus here. Tech Ultimate Gohan is another unit we will go over, but he is definitely a really good idea to bring. These Bardoks don't have their Extreme Z Awakenings on Global yet, so they're not going to be good ideas for now. I suppose you could also bring the STR Ultimate Gohan. He links up really well with the Tech Ultimate Gohan. They could be a nice rotation to run together. Yeah, I think you could do this. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you'd need a 6th. I suppose you could throw in like the Int UI Goku or the Int Namek Goku, potentially. Maybe even like the STR Namek Goku. I suppose you could build a powerful comeback team if you really wanted to. You probably could make some good stuff out of this. Yeah, so that is definitely an interesting option for leader. I guess the one benefit of having the Birdku as your leader is that he would you would have the revive available every turn because you could run one of each of him on opposite rotations and then always have the ability to use that revive. So that could be kind of interesting. Okay, yeah, so we already mentioned this guy, the STR UI Goku here. Just, again, great chance to evade. That is pretty much all there is to his kit that is relevant for this. He's just going to be able to dodge a crap ton, and that's perfect. Okay, so we've also got the Kid Gohan Dokkan Fest here. He is a super solid defensive unit. He's getting infinite defense raises on his super attack here. He also has a medium chance to stun, which is nice. And then he gets start of turn defense, attack on super attack, so that helps him hit a little bit harder. And then he also gets an additional attack and defense 58% when there's another Heavenly Events category ally attacking in the same turn. And then he gets some additional stat buffs if he is in the first slot and gets hit before he attacks. And he gets a guaranteed stun that way as well. And then he also just provides some extra defense to all allies, which is perfect. And then one of the best portions about his kit is his active skill. So this can be activated when your HP is 58% or less. And then he heals 30%, guards for the turn, and gives more defense to all allies for 2 turns. So just so much defense going on with this card, and he is a really good Super Battle Road unit, especially because of the stunning portions of his kit as well. But yeah, any units that have like a healing active skill is so perfect because you're going to be able to use this if you ever get low, and then you can use it once in every single fight. So yeah, definitely a good unit to use. The one portion of his kit here, when there's another Heavenly Events category ally attacking in the same turn, let's double check on the crossover between Goku's family and Heavenly Events. Okay, so if you are going to run this guy, you'll want to run him on this team, on the Exchange Goku and Gohan's team for sure. You'll want to run him here because this is the only other like relevant unit on the Goku's family category that has Heavenly Events to activate his passive skill. So yeah, that's where he'll work out the best then. Okay, next up we've got Tech Raditz here. Another strong Super Battle Road unit. He has been for the longest time. I don't see him, being bad anytime soon, because he's got stunning built into his super attack here. And then 50% damage reduction when facing 2 or more enemies. So that's going to help you out quite a bit. Oh, and also guaranteed 1-turn stun. So you can really protect him a lot. I think that the 50% damage reduction really isn't enough, considering like he has decent defense, but he only gets 100% stats at the start of turn, and he doesn't give himself any defense raises on super attack. So 50% damage reduction honestly isn't enough in today's current meta to keep him like safe from getting absolutely demolished. He could probably tank like a couple normal attacks, but if he got hit with a super attack in this stage, I imagine it would be an instant KO, even if you had full HP. But the fact that you can basically choose who you want to stun for the turn, if you run him in the 3rd slot, then you're pretty safe, because you can just stun the enemy that's going to be attacking him. And especially considering this Super Battle Road stage is all 2 fights, 2 enemies per fight, then likely going to be able to stun, keep him from getting hit with any attacks. As opposed to like a 5 enemy fight where you could only stun one of them, and there's a potential 4 other units that could still be attacking in that same slot. Okay, so then next up we've got the Tech Ultimate Gohan here. Amazing unit, guards permanently and gets the attack and defense raises infinitely. So perfect for that. He is an amazing defensive unit, very, very reliable, super good for Super Battle Road. Okay, so this is actually a very interesting option here, the Tech Godku. He is going to be a pretty solid unit to bring here because of this. Reduces damage received by 77% when there is a movie boss or Pure Saiyan's category enemy. Now, if we go over and take a look at the Super Battle Road stage, in the first stage you're facing off against King Vegeta and Kid Vegeta, both Pure Saiyans. In the second fight, you're facing off against a Vegeta and a Trunks, so as long as you keep the Vegeta alive, and just take out Trunks first, then he'll be able to tank against Vegeta. And then same deal, but opposite over here, because you have the Trunks and the Vegeta. So you just want to make sure to keep the Vegeta alive, and then basically you can keep God Goku's passive up for the entirety of the Super Battle Road stage. So he is, I would say, hands down the best defensive unit that you can bring. So yeah, definitely a good idea to consider running this guy. And then for what it's worth, he also does seal super attacks, which can be relevant for sure. Okay, so we went over this guy a little bit, the Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Goku. He is going to be a decently solid unit. The main portion of his kit that I want to take a look at here, though, is foresees enemy super attack when there is another full power category ally attacking in the same turn, and HP is 59% or below. So that is kind of an important piece to his kit. Foreseeing enemy super attack is a huge deal, especially if you have some low HP here. So let's go ahead and see the crossover between the full power category and Goku's family, just so we can see who activates that passive for him. Oh wow, lots of characters. Okay, there are some really good ones too. And then look at that, the Birdku himself. Very, very good. So if you're running him on the team, then that's going to be a pretty solid pairing there. You've also got the version Z Goku. He's a really solid unit as well to run, for sure. He is just going to be really good, like attack-wise and defense-wise. And then also providing a little bit of support can be nice too. I suppose this Kaioken Goku couldn't be the worst option either. He definitely does a lot of damage, but defensively, I don't know if he could be trusted. He might falter a little bit there. But then you've also got the Exchange Goku and Gohan, so if you ran him on their team, then he would be able to activate that too. So yeah, it looks like there are plenty of options for him to be able to activate that Scouter portion of his passive. So yeah, that guy's going to be a super good option for you. Okay, so next up we've got the High School Gohan. I did want to mention him here. This unit is starting to age out a little bit. He really needs his EZA. Well, they don't really EZA World Tournament units yet anyway, but he does need an EZA. I imagine if one day he gets one, he is going to be insane again, like he once was. But he can still definitely put in some work. Having reduces damage received by 58%, just standard. And then the medium chance of stunning just makes him good enough to be, a third slot supporting unit, especially because he provides 30% support. So yeah, definitely a decent option. Probably not like a top option nowadays with all of the buffs that have come out like since the 7th anniversary, but definitely still usable. Okay, so we kind of mentioned this guy already too, the STR Ultimate Gohan. He's going to be a great ally to pair up with the Tech Ultimate Gohan for sure. And then he is not quite as good because he doesn't have that guaranteed guard, but he still does have a high chance to guard. Where is it at here? Yeah, high chance to guard all attacks, which is perfect. And then when he guards all attacks, he guards all attacks for 4 turns. So basically you just need the high chance to proc once, and then for the next 4 turns he'll be fine, which should be the entirety of the Super Battle Road stage. So he's only going to need to proc his high chance to guard 3 times, essentially, because he'll just have to do it once per fight. and then he should be fine. But he's also getting a great defense raise on super attack, so even if he doesn't guard, as long as he's not getting hit with type disadvantage, which there's only one AGL enemy in the first fight, and then he doesn't have to worry about type disadvantage for the rest of the Super Battle Road stage. So yeah, he'll definitely be a good idea to bring along. Super strong unit here. Okay, so then I'm actually excited to use this guy, the Heart Virus Goku here. I actually did not pull this unit until quite a while after his release. Like, I want to say more than a year after his release. Well, that's actually not possible because he released in March, and it is still the same year. But it was like, what, 6 months, 8 months, something like that? Yeah, so I actually have barely used this unit. There hasn't been a ton of new content relevant to that this guy hasn't had an option to like be a part of, so I may end up using him. But anyways, why, you might ask? Because he has got a pretty impressive kit here. So he raises attack and defense by up to 200%. The more HP remaining, the greater the stats boost. So on top of the 100% that he gets at the beginning of the turn, he's at 300% stats turn 1, which is wonderful. He's got 59% chance to crit, reduces damage received by 59%, and 59% chance to additional for 5 turns. So in Super Battle Road, that's always going to be active. That's kind of insane that he just has all of it. Basically has an entire hidden potential system, like, just in his passive. And then he also reduces damage received by 59% when HP is 59% or less, and gets some additional defense starting from the 6th turn, which that portion is not going to be relevant. So yeah, he's going to get a lot of additionals going on here. I guess the main part that is kind of a caveat with him is that he sacrifices 7% HP on super attack, and he is going to be getting those additionals quite frequently, so that's going to cost you a little bit of HP, but it should be perfectly fine, especially if you're pairing him with other units that benefit from the low HP, like the Kid Gohan, who's going to be giving his active skill, with the healing, and then the Birdku, who can revive below, a certain amount of HP. And then you also have the STR-LR Kaioken Goku, who gets his active skill super attack when your HP is low. So there are quite a few ways to use this sacrificing HP to your advantage. So yeah, I'm excited to use this guy for sure. Okay, and then last up we have the Physical Future Gohan here. He is going to be a good option, but again, here's the portion where I was mentioning you need to Future Trunks with him to give him these additional 120% stats and then some crit chance. But aside from that, he is going to have 30% damage reduction turn 1, and then that's going to build up by 7% each at the start of each turn until he's at 58%. And then he also gets a lot of defense depending on your HP, but your HP actually has to be low in order for him to get the defense raises. Otherwise, he's just got a decent amount of attack, but he does get the great attack and defense raises at the start of turn, or on his super attack, I mean. So he could be decent defensively, but I think without the full portion of his passive, without the additional 120% stats here, he is going to be a little lackluster. So I would say if you are going to bring this guy, it's probably a good idea to bring him alongside this leader. That way he'll be on the 200% portion of the leader skill. You really want to get that guy on 200%, or he could be a bit of a liability for you. Okay, so before we finish up here, there's one more team that I wanted to mention. I didn't bother going over any of the units specifically because they're all going to be right here. Where's it at? Dragon Ball Heroes. So, there is actually an option here to build a Dragon Ball Heroes team for Goku's family. So you'll be using the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Goku as your leader, so you'll actually have a 200% team that you're running, which is exciting. So now the reason that I set all of these units aside is because, as I'm sure most of you know, the Dragon Ball Heroes units only really work to their maximum capacity when they are ran together. So many of these units have Dragon Ball Heroes conditions in their passive skills. And that is true for most of these guys here. So you're definitely going to want to make sure that you're running all of these Dragon Ball Heroes units together. I know some of them have some use outside of a Dragon Ball Heroes team, like Pan, for example. She still has some, a high chance to stun, regardless of what team she's on, and she's got high chance of evasion as well. So both of those things can still be useful, but without the additional stat buffs that she's getting from the Dragon Ball Heroes category allies, then if she does end up getting hit, then she's going to be like a super big liability for you. And that is kind of a similar deal with all of these units. This guy has this extra damage reduction that he's getting for all of the Dragon Ball Heroes category allies, so that's very important that he's alongside DBH, units. And then kind of same deal with the Bardock and Gohan as well. So yeah, but if you are running all of these units together, then this team is actually going to look pretty incredible. So if you notice here, we have 7 units, if you don't count the SSRs of these guys. We've got 7 units that we can run here. So basically you're going to need all but one of these in order to be able to complete this team. And if you were curious about like which one is the worst, if you have all 7, I would say this is probably the Super Saiyan 3 Gohan is the one you're going to want to not run. He's the oldest EZA. He got his EZA last year, so he is starting to age out of the meta quite a bit at this point. Granted, he gets a little buff here because now he can be used under 200% leader skill, so that's not the worst. But I would say that the rest of these units are probably going to be better for you. Especially because this guy does need to build up quite a bit. Sorry about that, my headset shut off on me. But yeah, he is going to need, a few turns to build up before he can look really impressive. So yeah, this guy is probably the one you'll want to leave off the team. Pan's going to be wonderful for support. This Xeno Goku is really good for support. The Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Goku is an amazing tank, and then you've got the Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, who's an amazing tank. Obviously, barring you have these another 2 or more Giant 8 power categories allies on the team, which is one and done because you've got the Xeno Goku here who counts as one, and then the friend leader also counts as one. But then even if you you're also going to have Bardock on the team as well, the Super Saiyan 4 Bardock, who counts as well. This, I would say, is the second worst character to bring for sure. He is definitely lackluster when it comes to defense. You're probably not going to want to let this guy get hit too often, especially like not before he super attacks. But he can still provide a little bit of, like decency to this. He does seal super attacks, so that's nice for Super Battle Road for sure. And then he's got a medium chance to evade built in, so yeah, can be decent, but definitely not as strong as some of these other units. But anyway, so that is another thing I wanted to mention, that you can build a Dragon Ball Heroes team, so that could be kind of fun. So good luck to you guys in your runs of this upcoming stage of Super Battle Road. I will be putting out a video of me no iteming it for sure very soon. Probably the day it drops, and then I might even, with this one, just because there's so many different options for team builds, I might even put out multiple videos with trying to no item it with a few of these different teams that seem kind of fun to run, just because there's so many different ideas that I could come up with for fun team builds. So yeah, I hope you guys found this educational and informational and helpful and everything. And if you enjoyed it, then consider being a part of the Toxic Tribe with a like, comment, and subscribe on the video. That is going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!